I wish I knew how to quit you.
Then why don't you?
You're listening to Codependent Content, the podcast where we discuss the TV shows, movies, books, and video games in which we share an unhealthy relationship.
The most I will do in this moment is permit you to live. You were fortunate tonight, Mr. Ornick. When I grasped your throat, I assumed you would not survive our conversation.
My name is Mattias. Join us as we try to unravel the characters, stories, and worlds that we are entangled with. Because just when we think we're done with content, it draws us back in. Welcome back, Morgan.
Hey, thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. Codependent Content. My name is Mattias.
Hi, I'm Morgan.
And we're today talking about Season 3, Episode 6 of Foundation, The Shape of Time. What shape do you think time takes?
Flat circle.
I think it's a D.
Wrong, sir.
I think it's a
Wrong
big
show.
D. The shape of a D. For some reason, that's the shape of time. So, take that for what you will. But yeah, that's what we're talking about. Foundation. Mm-hmm. Maybe a little bit longer of an episode this week. We'll see. Than like last week is a little bit shorter, but we still got some fun conversation out of last week.
Yeah.
Let's see. I wanted to so I'm going to throw a few things at you, Morgan, this episode. I'm going to try and elevate the podcast, as it were. We're going to, and so, I want to figure out segments, and we come up with segments.
Okay. Things
that we can talk about, things that we can do, that you can expect from the podcasts, from this podcast that no one else can do, That said, the first segment I feel like we should do is what I've noticed is that, people podcast, Morgan, there's a lot of pop culture podcasts.
There's at least 2 or 3.
People love takes. People just love pop culture, weird fantasy, sci-fi, superhero takes, you know, they just love things. Right.
Sure.
I watched Alien Earth. I got the 2 episodes out of the way. I'm enjoying it so far. I have my thoughts or whatever. You haven't seen Alien Earth yet, right?
No,
but you are a
not.
big Alien
franchise
guy,
I like
right?
that. I like that universe a lot.
Let's do this. By the way, go watch Alien Earth. It's pretty good. We might possibly, this podcast will probably do a recap of it. I don't know when it ends, but we obviously don't have the time to talk about it while doing Foundation.
Yeah.
I do have someone who would like to talk about Alien Earth. And maybe we'll be able to talk about it once you catch up, and maybe we'll do a couple episodes or something about it. Not sure how to do that because we can't do it episode by episode. But if you're interested in our takes on Alien Earth, please let us know. It might not be as deep divey as usual, but maybe we'll get some things out there. In the meantime, tell me, Morgan, rank the aliens for me. Rank these movies for me. How do you feel? What do you got? What's your Morgan's for 100%? This is the best ranking of Alien.
Sheesh.
No holds bars.
Sheesh. It's hard for me not to rank Alien, the original, as number 1.
Yeah, because without it, the rest don't exist, right?
And it's also it is a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
I also really think Aliens is very strong.
Yeah. Hard to beat.
After there, I think it gets murky.
Sure.
I really liked Romulus.
Yes.
Was it last year?
Sure.
2
Yeah.
years ago?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That might be my number 3.
Ooh, interesting. Okay.
After that, I might go Resurrection. Then probably, I'm thinking about Prometheus and Covenant right now.
Yeah.
And
now for this ranking, we're leaving out any crossovers. Is that
Alien vs. Predator is an objective number 1. But yeah, you can't count it.
Number 1? Nobody can. Yeah, no. If you could count it, no,
top
obviously.
10 greatest movies of all time.
That movie.
So obviously it's the best Alien movie.
No, for sure. Unfortunately, it's been disqualified for using performance enhancing drugs, so we can't it can't compete.
Which is a
unfortunately,
bummer,
that's the thing, you know.
Because I'd love to give
That's
it
how
awards.
it works. That's how it works in art, and you know, yeah. Sorry, go on.
It's a tough break. we hate to see it.
Yeah.
I think I like Prometheus better than Covenant. Even though both Prometheus and Covenant ask so many fascinating questions about that universe and start to like peel back the curtain of what is actually potentially possible or has happened historically here. But I also don't think there's a lot of answers at all.
Yeah.
I think it comes woefully short, even though it's cool. The nerd in me loves those movies. And this is, why I can't rank them as high, because they are engaging with the questions that I want to, that like excite me the most about the universe, but they don't give us enough to even start to answer them. Yet they're really just teases. Am I missing any?
As far as my knowledge goes, because my knowledge on Alien is very, very limited, I do not know. I don't think so.
Yeah, Aliens, Resurrection, Covenant, Prometheus, Romulus, and then the show now, which I haven't seen yet.
Yeah. And it's hard to rank that until,
Yeah. But yeah, I think that's my story. If we're recapping, I think I go Alien, Aliens, then I go Romulus, then Resurrection, Prometheus, Covenant.
Interesting. Okay. Interesting. I feel like Alien is number one just because like without it, like you don't have anything else, right? Like the design, the stuff there, everything is just it's what made the rest, we don't have the masterpiece that is Alien versus Predator without the first one, so that's what it is, right?
Yeah. Do we even care about the Predator without the Alien?
Yeah. Right. My controversial take is I would probably put Prometheus second.
Whoa.
I would definitely put Aliens third.
Okay.
Covenant fourth. Alien Covenant fourth. I absolutely was disappointed in Romulus for various reasons. I think Romulus is a great Alien movie, doesn't do enough new things until the third act, and I wish the third act had been half of the movie. I feel like that should have been it, because that would have made it a better and different movie.
Yeah.
Other than that, as an Alien movie, it just didn't work for me.
We might have to do a podcast on just fucking Romulus.
I mean, we can try. Maybe in our retrospective, we'll kind of like work our way through something. I don't know. We'll see. And then Resurrections would have to come just because I'm least familiar with Resurrections, to be completely honest.
Okay.
I don't have fond memories of it, which makes me think it's just like, it's not worth really remembering, but I'm sure there's some good things. So I went back to revisit it, but I haven't revisited those in a while.
Sure.
It's honestly, I don't even remember watching the first two, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
I've seen enough of them to like have like some sort of memory, but I don't remember, Sure. So it's like, but yeah, I really did love Prometheus, and the hate that it got is so disappointing to me. And I know people are like, oh, they do stupid things. I'm like, this is the Alien franchise, right? Like the way that they did it was so cool though. Like the things that they were doing. And again, we talk about sci-fi stuff, like concepts all the time. And I think that was it for me. It was like, it captured my sci-fi imagination.
Strong
and it makes
agree.
me wish that like Ridley Scott would just stayed like in there, And I think maybe the reason like I put that there is because, Aliens is great. It's a James Cameron movie. And it's like, is it an Alien movie? Yeah. But is it really? Like when you look at like what Alien did and then what Covenant and even like Blade Runner and what Alien Earth is doing, Aliens does. It's just an action. It's just a good action film that involves aliens, as opposed to, I guess, like, I mean, it is good sci-fi depending on how you look. I mean, if you like Starship Troopers and that kind of sci-fi, right? It's just not, what I'm saying?
It doesn't have the kind of world building or like opening of perspective to make humans feel small that some of the other movies have. I totally agree.
Yeah. I will say Alien Earth, while we're here, my my biggest thing about Alien Earth is I feel like it fits more in the Blade Runner universe than the Alien universe, which they are one and the same, right? They are technically the same.
Arguably, I think they are the same.
I don't know. So Alien Earth takes place in 2130 or 2120, and Blade Runner is 20.
I'll look it up.
What was it? 2049 was the most recent one. Was
2049. It's not 21.
So it's technically like way in the future of like the Blade Runner universe, right?
Yeah, 2049.
So so it's interesting like how it's supposed to be the same universe, but it doesn't feel like at all the same. But it is interesting. But it does fit. What they're dealing with is more Blade Runner than it is Alien, which is kind of cool for me. I really like that. Even though I have like other thoughts about Alien Earth, but it's hard to talk about until we get to the end and see what they're actually doing.
Sure.
You know. But that's a fun thing. But yeah, thank you. That's a good segment. Maybe people will hate me on the internet again, which is great.
Hey,
I love it.
You got a list. Come at us.
Get a list. If you got more pop culture questions, please let us know. Anything we can talk about. I'm going to try and find something every week that we can put our pop culture minds to. Okay. You know, be a little nerdy, right? We got to be nerds here.
I am always down to rank things.
And the ranking is just an easy way, but we'll see. So yeah, another thing I've been nerding out about. I've finally been trying to get back into streaming again. I've just been goofing off, just been playing on the computer. I've discovered, this is probably not new for anyone else, but I've discovered GeForce Now. So I can finally game on my Mac and find a way to actually stream without figuring out how to hook up my PlayStation and my camera and everything to OBS to the computer. And that would be like a whole process because I'm more of a console gamer. I was like, oh, I can actually like do some things. So all that to say, one of the things I'm thinking of doing, I'm not sure yet, but we'll see. One of the things I'm thinking of doing, if you guys want to see gaming, and I eventually think that, you know, the beginning of this podcast, I talk about books and games as well in the intro. At least at one point in the intro, we talked about those things. So I would like to incorporate gaming at some point so we can talk about some cool games like The Last of Us, if it was, you know, a new one comes out or something, right? And one of the games that I've heard a lot of good things about this year was the Expedition 33 or Claire Obscura Expedition 33, and I haven't played it yet. So I'm thinking of just playing that on stream. If you guys are interested, don't know if I'll do clips or anything. Don't know if I'll have the time, but maybe in between podcast sessions, you can find me gaming and doing that once I find some time and do that kind of stuff. And I might also be moving in a couple months. So it's a question of like fitting that in. But if you want to see that, let me know. If there's any other games you're interested in, please let me know. I'll probably be doing it anyway, because that's the beauty of like streaming. I can just do it. If you show up, you show up. If you don't, you don't. Whatever, right? I really don't care. I'm still going to play the games, right? But I've been messing around with it. I've been trying to figure out how to make that work. So it's been kind of cool. So
that's awesome.
I guess I'm a streamer now.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no. Ooh, no. Not going to do that. Okay. Okay. I think that's it for preamble before we get into the show. So why don't we talk about season 3, episode 6 of Foundation, The Shape of Time. This is a spoiler warning. If you haven't watched the episode and you're discovering us for the first time, you should be watching Foundation. You should go back and watch Foundation, and you should watch the most recent episode before coming to this episode. Maybe you're out of order. I have no idea. But we're going to spoil everything in this episode. Disclaimer, we have not read the books, so we do not know anything about the future of the books or future episodes. That said, we do speculate a lot, and if we happen to spoil things, I'm sorry. It's not our intention, but there are spoilers in the books too for this show, and we're trying not to spoil it, but we might accidentally speculate on it. So that's just so you know, so you guys know, things like that. Let's do general thoughts.
We're back, baby.
On the episode. I realized that I'm such a How I Met Your Mother fan. It just took me until like last week to realize I have not I have not been respecting general thoughts.
It's important.
I think, why have I not been doing this? Because it's such a great bit. Anyway, general thoughts, Morgan, on.
No, I think it's awesome. This week's episode was solid. Things happen. Plot moves forward. We get developments. We're back, baby. It's good. I liked it a lot.
I think we're heading back. I think, yes, last week was a little bit, took a seat on the bench, so to speak, It
was just a very slow.
And now we're warming up,
stale
right?
episode. Now I'm like, oh, no, we're going. What's happening? Good.
A lot of fun stuff. I think that some great robot shit and timey-wimey talk and some really cool things to like wrap your head around in terms of that kind of stuff. And great ending. I love that space battles are seemingly about to happen. I was worried. My initial thought about this episode was like, we just see the space battle happening, but we're not going to like be in it. Like, it just like kind of happens like in the background. I thought we were going to like end and like that was it. But it seems like
we're pretty in it.
It seems like, again, slight spoiler. I don't know what happens in the episode, but the next episode for some reason is named Foundation's End. And it might just be this battle. And so it's just going to be ongoing. And so I'm like, oh, that's what I wanted. Because I was like, oh, why couldn't this episode have been like just 30 minutes of like space battle?
Disagree.
But now
we've established, first of all, that what you want is swashbuckling.
Yes.
And while space battling is badass and it's cool.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's swashbuckling.
Dude, it's a swashbuckling-esque depending on how you look at it.
I guess it depends on how the battle goes.
Swashbuckling is a state of mind, Morgan. I don't think you understand.
I clearly don't.
It doesn't necessarily need to include specific things. It just has to have the air of swashbuckling.
It's a vibe.
Right? It's gotta, right? Okay. My favorite, and when I think about swashbuckling, I think about my favorite book, Zorro by Isabel Allende. And it is a book that no one has heard about. And you would think, like, Zorro is like, some great movies. Antonio Banderas, amazing, right? But Zorro is not anyone's like favorite like pop culture character, not nowadays, right? He's pretty muted compared to say like your Batman, or whatever, right?
Maybe it's time for a comeback.
He's really close to like the Robin Hood or whatever. But like I read that book and it just filled me with so much joy reading it, to learn about Diego de la Vega and his journey as it was like reading a fantasy novel, but like in like our history. And so, like he does like cool, like sleight of hand stuff. He's like getting into arguments with people, but like stealing things like in the middle of the fight, and there's like, of course, sword fights and it just is a swashbuckling adventure. There's like boat sailing and all this kind of stuff. Like it's just got this like vibe about it, but it's not. I don't know. So that's what I think of. Like it's just it's the characters. It's a vibe. It's like you get these like roguish people and they're like,
it feels like a D&D adventure.
Yeah, right. Which I want to talk about that later, actually. But I have another segment I'm gonna throw at you, D&D inspired, but we'll see when we get there. But yeah, that's I think. I was going to say it later in terms of swashbuckling while I'm being very serious about a subject that you were trying to do a bit on. And I get really fucking serious about my swashbuckling, Morgan.
Well, we know.
Apparently.
We know.
I would say that we are swashbuckling imminent. It's imminent.
You can feel it in your knees.
Right? It is so fucking close. Okay. Like there's whole scenes where I'm like, this group of people is like, which one of you is going to be first to break, so I think swashbuckling is going to happen next episode. I'm not going to, I'm
level with you. I hope you're right. I like it.
Listen,
I mean, I don't need it like you need
how
it.
How is the fight between Han and Randu not so close to swashbuckling. You're like, you know what I'm saying?
It could have. I mean, it could have gone to swashbuckling.
It was very close.
Beta breaks it up. It's like it absolutely could have gotten there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we start the episode with the Mule of all people, our main character, the people's favorite,
and he's having a bad dream.
The lens choices that they use for this is so interesting. But yeah, he's struggling, man. He's got some anxiety of his own, dude. He wakes up. I want to know where he is. I'm curious just what your general thoughts were on. Have you seen How I Met Your Mother? Do you even understand the bit?
No, I've seen like a couple episodes, but no, I have no idea what you're talking about.
If anyone's out there and they're just listening to this podcast and not watching, the How I Met Your Mother has an ongoing bit where when you say something that involves, say, for instance, in this case, general thoughts, anything that has the air of ranking in the military, you're supposed to salute that. So if you were to be like, that person's a major pain, and then you salute, right? You know, like it's an ongoing joke between two of the characters, and it's a fun thing. So I've always just liked it. And somewhere in my mind, I was just like, yeah, general thoughts. Just like, I was like, why have I not noticed that in a long time? Anyway, that's neither here nor there. You didn't come to this podcast. I don't know. I'm being a nerd, so whatever. Where do you think he is? Where do you think the Mule is? Because I'm super interested in like what's going on in the background and whether or not it's gonna come into play later, because it seems like there's lights or explosions happening in the background.
I hear you.
Is he in the middle of war?
I don't think so. But I could be wrong. I have a guess. I'm not like, I don't feel strongly about it. I think he's like in like hyperspeed travel.
Oh, interesting.
On his way to the place where Magnifico is.
New terminus.
Yes, thank you. But yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be war or anything.
Well, he's not there yet because he says like get everyone together and like go. I think he's on a planet, or it seems like he's in some weird part of space where something's happening in the background. I don't know. It honestly, it could be just like he's not on Calgon, right? But you would think it's like Calgon, where Las Vegas has like a bunch of like lights just going on in the windows. Like I was like, it could be something like that, but he's not on Calgon. And then I was like, it looks literally like explosions. Like I feel like in the background, I'm hearing explosions. I'm like, are they taking over a planet while he's sleeping?
I don't think so.
Or is he in like a volatile part of space where like he's surrounded by like, in a place where like not like volcanoes, but like whatever the space equivalent would be of like just things are like exploding in the background. I don't know if these are supposed to be ships. I don't know if they're supposed to be explosions. I don't know what it is, but it
could be supernovas. Yeah, sure.
That's what I'm saying. It's like it's so interesting to me, and the way that they shoot it and stuff. I don't know if the visual is supposed to come back later on, if we're supposed to like run into that. And that's why I wondered what your thought was, or if I was just like reading into things too much.
You could be. Yeah. I don't know. To me, it looked like the same shit when Gaal was supposed to be asleep during her first hyper, and she looked out.
So he could be like just running around in hyperspace. Yeah.
So that's what I thought.
Yeah.
Because he's supposed to be asleep, right? But also he's metallic like Gaal.
Yeah.
So it's not bad for him.
But we know he doesn't have.
Look out for that.
Yeah, but we know he doesn't have spacers at this point because that's Demerzel's main concern later on, is that he's going after the Whisper fleet and the spacers. Yeah, maybe he doesn't need them, but we're not sure like how he gets around. That would be interesting. It would be interesting if he's able to do this without having a problem, without needing spacers or something. Again, which is why I bring it up. If there's something else like this going on, I'd be curious to see like how else he's getting around, or where is he going in between this? And we don't know where he's going, right? People don't seem to, we don't know where he comes from, and we don't know where he goes in between things, because people are always like, where is the Mule? And he's not on Calgon and we can't find him and that kind of thing. So, and they get to New Terminus pretty easily, presumably without a jump gate or a whisper drive. Do they have a whisper drive, which makes it seem like they are?
Or their own technology, but yeah.
And I didn't see him with a patch, and I didn't see his other guy with a patch either, right? So what is that? By the way, is this his guy just watching him sleep?
This is his doctor. This is his sleep buddy.
Yeah, his doctor that apparently can wield a bazooka as well.
But who also can tell when he's having a bad dream.
Pretty interesting way to watch this. Anyway, again, I know it's not going to be coincidence the way he talks about things. People have told me like, oh, pay attention to that whenever I pointed out how it's so interesting how he says things like, do you ever feel like you're living someone else's life? You know, your life is not your own. Here he says, feel like I'm wearing someone else's dreams, which is just such a great line of dialogue because it like conjures up like a imagery of something that I never really would have thought of it that way. Wearing someone else's dreams. I just don't, no one talks like that, but it's so evocative, you know?
I agree.
And that makes this character like so interesting. I love how he talks about Gaal being like, oh, she's in our time now, like at our throats. Like this is something like he didn't know what this was or who this was, thought it was just some dream girl or whatever. It's like, no, she's in our time. The way we talk about time, you know, we know that like, I don't know what his deal is, but there's a possibility that he has also not been from our time. We know that like you can, it's not like he was born like 40 years ago, right? Kind of thing. You know, he could have also done a cryo thing, you know, that he could have been like somehow traveling through time or something to kind of get here. And now he realizes, oh, this is it. This is the spot, you know? I'm curious like where exactly he comes from. And I wouldn't be surprised if he has been, we talk about time later on, how it folds in on stuff and how the spacers look at it. I'm curious how he views time, right? I'm curious, like, if he's coming from this era and we have caught up to him, and it sounds like now he's caught up to us kind of thing, right? Gaal was waiting to catch up to him, and he was a future thing for her, you know, 150 years ago. Yeah. But what if he's like 300 or 400 years before that? And it just like now the time aligns for both of them or something like that. Even so, even if it's not that, and he was like born 40 years ago, however old he is, right? Like then in this timeline, he hasn't been doing this. There's still this idea that he's been traveling through it even in his dreams, right? Yeah. That he has been going back and forth and figuring, and he didn't know where in the timeline it was. This guy, it's interesting. Time stuff is so interesting to me. But I love that. That was the thoughts that I came up with. Do you have anything else on this scene?
No, I mean, I think like principally the scene serves to reiterate some basics that we need to know that are going to be important. That Han is like me. Han made me aware of Gaal Dornick. Yeah. And now I know who she is. Yeah. I'm the Mule and I need to destroy her. Yeah. And the way he says that, we know he has that sense of destiny about him, right? Like, so now this is a thing that he has to do. Yeah, they're hammering this, right? Like they're really giving us like there's things you might not know about the Mule. A lot of the things you're bringing up that I think are fascinating, but also they very clearly need us to know like 2 or 3 things about him.
Yeah. My assumption too is like if he's having the same dream that Gaal has been having, right? Yeah. Whether he's been jumping in the future and the past. And I'm curious, do you think he's been having the same specific one?
I am not convinced of that.
That's my question, because he would know about the second foundation already then.
Correct, because the thing that he screams in Gale's dreams is, where is the second foundation? Yeah. Right. So I'm not convinced his dream is the same. Yeah. And I think that I'm not moving us ahead, but I need to talk about something later that has to do with this scene.
Yeah.
This episode made me also think that Demerzel might lay hands on him and we might get to see his dream.
Oh, fucking absolutely.
Yeah. And I think it's very unlikely that it's the same dream, because now we know that the two of them have kind of been like floating in each other's orbits, but not in the same kind of place. I think that we're going to get it. Well, I hope we do.
Yeah.
Whenever Demerzel's in the same room as the mule.
Yeah. Okay. I think that's all great. I'd love to talk about Demerzel more. It'll be interesting. Again, the main thing is if he has been having the same dream, he would already know about Foundation 2. So it is interesting if he already knows that information.
I also don't think it's the same, because then he would know that he's going to destroy her, and probably how and where, right? Yeah,
which is what what he's like going towards. He has this like sense of, again, this destiny, right? This sense of like purpose. So he's kind of like driving towards something, like he's planning ahead, right? He knows he needs to go to do Calgan to eventually destroy the fleet, and then to eventually, he's gonna go to New Terminus to get rid of the first Foundation, and then also take the Whisper Fleet, and then he's gonna go take down Empire. His whole goal is to take down like everyone, and he's just doing it in order. So I think all roads would have led to Trantor at some point. Yeah. It's really surprising, honestly, that Gaal was like, I don't understand where this is. You couldn't piece together.
We're going to talk more about Gaal in a minute.
Yeah, for sure.
I remain deeply frustrated.
But that is like, it's possible that he has known that it was always going to be like on Trantor, and that he was going to get there, and he also doesn't know how it ends, right? But it's clear that battle now, talking to Gaal and stuff, that battle or whatever is like the last vision. Like we don't even know, that doesn't even we don't know that he essentially gets to the second Foundation, or they ever find it, right? Yeah. So my assumption is that like even if he gets there and kills, so quote unquote, in the dream or in the future vision, he kills Gaal, we don't know what happens to the second Foundation afterwards. They still exist, So the second Foundation, for all we know, does not ever disappear, which is an interesting thing to me, because time just stops at that point. Whatever happens there, we don't have anything beyond that vision. So that's just an interesting thing to me, right? That he'll have to go through Empire before he could even get to the second Foundation. So anyway, that's just the thing. I think before we can get to Gaal and Demerzel, we should cut to like Day, because his scene is just one scene that's just cut through the entire episode. And there are revelations here as well. A lot of stuff that we have been talking about. Quick recap. Day has gone down to Mycogen. He's going to find his beloved Song, his consort that should have her memories erased. And he's gone 80 or so levels down into the realms of Trantor, this big citywide planet, and he is searching for her. He does find her relatively easily. I guess he just needed to look up her address. Yeah. Find it. It's on Google Maps. So
it absolutely is.
And knocks on her door and finds Song.
Yeah.
In the meantime, he does learn that, the fleet has been destroyed. He could care less, to a certain extent, maybe he cares. But he's got more important things, going on. Also, he knew like the destruction of humankind was eventually coming anyway. So he's kind of like, this is sure. That makes sense. Right. Yeah. He gets some candies and he goes to meet Song. There he encounters Song, who has her memories erased. So any of our theories there, I mean, I believe her when she says she doesn't remember anything. Cause she has a lot of conviction later on when she's talking about like, I know for sure I could not have said I loved you. Or if I did, it was out of fear. That feels real. It all feels authentic to me. So, Demerzel was correct. She did erase her memories. So Demerzel is trying to protect her knowledge of a robot being out there. So to me, there any thoughts that we had maybe of like Demerzel maybe hoping that they would find out or wanting to rebuild this like kind of rebellion or whatever doesn't seem to be on her radar. She seems, and as we've seen throughout this episode, still very much cares only about the dynasty and how do I maintain the dynasty. So that's just, at least as far as our speculation has gone, is where what that tells us, right? At least tells me.
Yeah. I don't know if I'm all there.
Why not? Or is this something you want to talk about when we get to Demerzel?
No,
Okay.
I still think that like it's very possible that Demerzel is going to end up going down to Mycogen and utilizing this culture or cult that worships robots. Yeah.
Only if it benefits the dynasty. I just don't see that happening because she does seem very
I think there could
intently on.
I can easily imagine a series of events where she would need allies who trust her no matter what.
Yeah, possibly. We have to get into some other revelations with the scene, though, because there's a possibility that she doesn't need them, in my opinion.
Or that she's not the only robot.
Yes, because I had no idea what's going on. So
I agree.
I mean, again, as much as I feel like this is the weakest part of the episode in terms of the fact that like it's clearly like one scene that they're like, oh, we got to put some day in there. So they spread it out between a bunch of other. They could have just done this scene at some other point, but they spread it out amongst this episode because they had no time. I don't like it. Editing wise, I guess it works, you know.
I liked it. I didn't mind it.
I just feel like it's just one scene stretched out, and I don't like that. You know, I'm like, if it's just one scene, like just give us the scene. Stop cutting in between for no reason. I'm not a fan of that. I don't like it when the show does it quite a bit. So, and it did it throughout this episode for all of these scenes. They're all basically 3 different scenes which is fine. I guess it works, but it's just not how I like it. But even so, Lee Pace is a fucking delight. He's just fucking great.
I mean, can we first talk about his costume? So good. It's so good.
Hold on,
the
though.
Bucket hat and the huge yellow sunglasses. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah, but are we supposed to believe that this old man that he traded clothes with was wearing that before?
No, I think he's since gotten a new outfit.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
I think this is supposed to be the old man's.
Nah. I think when he was in the market and he's picking up the sweets, he also got a new outfit. He wanted to look like he's from Mycogen.
I think it's supposed to be the old man's suit.
But a cool guy.
I think that leads credence to the fact that like I think it's supposed to be old man's suit, but none of us believe that because I definitely don't believe that.
I don't think that old man was wearing gigantic yellow sunglasses and a bucket hat.
I don't know what Mycogen. I don't know how they are. It's.
I mean, no one else we saw walking around was wearing that stuff. Did he pick the weirdest dressed old man to switch clothes with?
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I think they want us to forget about the old man and why they did it. That's what that scene last week didn't make any sense.
I'm not thinking about the old man. I'm thinking about the dope ass outfit.
They could have just cut here and honestly like not done the whole thing, but whatever. Yeah, we get more mushroom inspired decor too. So, you know, if the fungus wasn't alive before in your mind, if you haven't been thinking about the fungus, well, you're welcome. There's some fungi to help you out. They really do. They're really going hard. Mycogen really is trying to have a theme here.
Yeah.
Their identity is like clearly rooted in for some reason, like a mushroom. Like at first I was like, oh, just this subtle thing. If you didn't know, like it's going to be like, it's like a fungus. It's mushroom inspired. Mycogen. You should be thinking about mushrooms. No, they went hard on the mushroom iconography down here. Like I was like, okay, I thought it was just going to be a subtle, you know, maybe a theme going on here. It's like, no, they were like, they want to embrace this.
They're the mushroom kingdom.
If there's a flag that's gonna have like some sort of mushroom on it or whatever flying into battle, okay,
I'm
sure,
here for it.
That's a thing. So Song doesn't have her memories. Day has her memories and has brought him with him. I will say my theory on the pregnancy, I no longer believe that. That's completely gone. I don't think that's a thing. I know it was a cool thing that would have added a lot of layers had that been maybe true for Day. Now that we're getting into it and we're seeing where Song comes from and who she is, obviously I don't think the pregnancy thing is true. So I'm just going to throw that out there. I don't think it's a thing.
I think it's extremely unlikely because it's also like if Demerzel went through the process of erasing her memories. Yeah. And we know that this is like the girlfriend and bedfellow of Empire for the last, 3 months or 6 months or whatever it was. Yeah. Then she would also have her scanned and be like, make sure she's not pregnant.
The pregnancy was always for me either going to be a thing that only she knew about or that maybe no one knew about. And it became like a surprise, right? It was never supposed to be a thing that like both her and Day like strictly knew about. I thought it was going to be some sort of revelation later on, right?
Unless Demerzel wants her to be pregnant.
I just don't think it's possible anymore. Based on the revelations we get here. And it was clear to me that like there's like as a conversation starts going on, I'm like, this is not leading to a direction that I thought it was leading, right? In terms of them being in love and all that kind of stuff. I was like, I was already getting the inkling that, oh, she lives here with someone. I was already thinking that there was some other, and she even mentions it like of another life. I was not surprised when she was like, this is my life mate. At the end, I was like, that person came into the room. How much do you want to bet that they're going to be like wife and wife or whatever, you know? Like, so I was already kind of from the moment he walks in the door, I was like, okay, pregnancy theory out the door. It was fun while it lasted for me, but I don't think it's a possibility. Just from a mental perspective, not even least of which the revelation we get later, which is I don't even know if it's possible, right? I don't know, but
I am saying that it's possible because if the plan is to put robots in charge, but you know that the prime robot, Demerzel, has a directive that says keep Empire alive, and another robot has a child by Empire, they can take that baby, make him heir, and build an empire literally around it.
You think that's their goal? Oh, yes. You think that? Okay, hold on a second.
Thanks for letting me say that.
Hold on a second.
Let's just spin the wheels there for 3 minutes.
Hold on a second. I didn't know we were gonna like be for sure. Here's the thing, though. Is there anything you want to talk about this scene before we talk about what we're talking about?
Other things in the scene?
Yeah.
I mean, that it's satisfying a little bit watching Day kind of get heartbroken.
I think he's really sad, man.
He's a sad the first
boy.
time in his life he hasn't got what he wanted.
Actually, like I actually was like, oh, he really does love this person, you know? because there was always a thought of like, how much of Day do we trust? Yeah. And I'm like, I actually kind of feel for him.
I mean, it's the first time he's like literally he's gotten a hard no.
He brought some candies, man.
Yeah. And gave up a lot, right?
You know.
But yeah.
But
it's satisfying.
You know what he should have done is make a mixtape.
I mean, with that fucking bucket hat, I bet he could make
I feel like that would have worked. I feel like he should have teamed up with Magnifico, made a few songs, and then I think he's gone about it the wrong way. But like, man, you just gotta try harder, dude.
I really want that cutscene where it's just Day stoned out of his mind with Magnifico by the pool, just fucking making like a duo album together.
Hey, AO3, you can have that one for free. Magnifico and Brother Day
remix. I don't even know what that site is.
AO3 is a famous, even from like back in the like our high school days. I think it comes from that time. If you write fan fiction, if you write, I mean, it is basically fan fiction, right? You can put it up on AO3 and people can read it. And that's where you get all the like major fan fiction of like Hermione and Draco and like, and all the, and like Kylo and Rey being together, you know, all those kind of stuff. Like any ship that you've thought of, there exists. And when I say any ship, like literally any, like if I looked up Day and Magnifico now, I probably already would find like 12 like different stories on it. Like you will find anything on there. And I've never once been to the site, to be fair.
There's like
I know
Frodo.
None of you believe me, but I've never been to the site.
Take out your phone. Show us your browser. Show us your browser history.
No.
It's his homepage.
I've written thousands.
I'm submitting. Doesn't mean I visit it.
So yeah, no, that's the site that you go to for all of those things. So
that's a free
AO3
one.
can have that.
Yeah, it's a free one.
If you haven't thought about it, that's the plot. But yeah, so the major thing here is that, yeah, so it's she's not in love and no, take your memories back and all this stuff and everything. But no, my name is Songbird-17.
Yep.
And this is my life mate, Ocean Glass-49. What do the numbers mean, Morgan? If not...
Well, that's how old they are. That's just kidding. I mean, it's so the implication to me immediately was they're robots,
or
they're a 17-year-old and a 49-year-old having a relationship, which clearly is not okay. No, or
clones,
or that potentially, clones, right? Or even they're in this warped, crazy cult religious thing. They name themselves maybe after the famous robots or something. Like, I don't know.
I don't know how we name mushrooms, and I don't know if there's numbers. I don't know if the iconography goes so much into the fact that like we are scientifically naming people based off, but I don't think that's it.
Okay.
I think we're supposed to believe when you do these numbers, and again, if there's some other sci-fi stupid thing from Foundation that this is just how they name people and it's whatever it is, it could be Android, it could be whatever, you know, like, I don't know. But if we're not supposed to think robots, I don't know what else. Yeah. Right. Because the only other thing would be clones. The only other time we get a naming convention or a number convention along with a name is Cleon the fucking 25th. Right. Yep. And, you know, like this is so. What else are we supposed to think from a robot
worshipping cult,
right? Yeah.
Yes.
That they are not just robots.
Strong.
And I will go as far as to say they can't be robots because we know Demerzel is the last one. They don't act like robots, but androids could be a thing. And there is a difference, and we can talk about that if it becomes a thing in Foundation, right? About how much of this is a hybrid of human and robot.
What's the acceptable percentage of human to machine ratio or whatever? Sure.
So that's also a possibility, but I don't know if that's a Foundation thing that we'll get into. I don't know if that's it's a sci-fi concept, but I don't know if it's this sci-fi, right?
Yeah, totally.
So all we know is robots.
Yeah.
And so they have to be robots. So I was thinking that she couldn't get pregnant because she's a robot. But if she is, now you're telling me, oh no, if their point was always, because what was the reason for her being there? Because she did want to keep her memories and she did want to stay with Dave for a long time and was thinking about bringing him down. Was she trying to steal a Cleon?
She's doing this before she knew there was a robot in the fucking royal palace. Right?
Was that the whole plan the whole time to steal a Cleon?
I'm just saying, it makes sense.
And yeah, so could she be pregnant? Could they potentially de-sterilize him? I guess if he is sterile and then decide to...
Would it be the weirdest thing that happened on Foundation? Nah, not even close.
Why would they? But why? why do it that way? Yeah, it is interesting that, I mean, not surprising that a cult that hates Cleon would be fighting against Empire in this way and trying to find a way to infiltrate Empire. Because clearly killing him is not enough.
It doesn't accomplish anything.
Because he's got to have a backup.
Exactly.
Which we have confirmed in this episode still exist,
They're
right?
the
They are still a thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So how else do they do this? So I don't know. Maybe pregnancy theory somewhat still alive.
I'm not willing to write it off yet.
But do you think she is currently or is trying to? That's the new question.
Yeah, I mean,
because I thought that her being currently pregnant was dead for me. But now that you've put it in my mind that there's a reason that they've kind of essentially maybe achieved their goal of luring Day down here. And even if the robot or not, maybe they know Demerzel exists or she didn't know. Maybe they didn't know where the robot existed, or they assumed maybe they assumed the robot would come back from, but I don't know. Either way, clearly she had a reason for being there.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
And maybe you're right. Maybe it's in part to have gotten pregnant by.
It could all be serendipity.
Yeah.
Oh, it just happened to be one of the, I can't remember the term that they use. It's glorified concubine, but whatever the term they use, that one of the girls was supposed to be, lay down with Day. Yeah. Just happened to be from Mycogen and just happened.
Oh, you know what it could be? Because whatever the cult is, they are essentially waiting on some sort of chosen one. Mm-hmm. And knowing how Dune is, and a lot of this Dune is inspired by Foundation and so far, and the chosen one narrative ends up being a lot coming from some sort of Foundation aspect, right? Apparently, seems like maybe they were trying to create their own chosen one,
like messianic figure.
Yeah. By essentially like having a hybrid baby, so to speak, which would make it like the perfect amalgamation of robot and human. Yeah, that's interesting. That could be.
To be clear, if they do that, if something like that happens, I'm not saying 100% this is for sure, but like we can imagine very clearly how Demerzel, having lost Dusk and Dawn already, and knowing how flawed Day has been like, this is the new future for the genetic dynasty. This is the best way to preserve it, is if it's part fucking robot, because it doesn't die.
Sure, potentially. I still think that Demerzel is the wild card here. Like, I don't. So it's separate things, right? If we're talking about what Song and her cult, the Inheritance, want, my assumption is that Demerzel did not play into that, and also they didn't know she existed. Because I'm thinking that like, the plan was for Song. I don't think Song expected Day to want to go to Mycogen ever. I thought she was going to stay there, maybe try and like get him unsterile, maybe convince him to like have a baby kind of thing, and maybe try and get her pregnant. And then the robot thing happened and the extinction thing happened, and that kind of threw her plan for a loop. Yeah. And it's just coincidence that Day has come looking for her. Sure. And it's great for them because that's what they wanted, but not essentially in this form, right?
100%.
Now for
totally viable.
Now for Demerzel, we have to, for that idea, that theory to be true, we would have to assume that she knows or believes that other robots are out there. And I don't think that she has, if she erased, it's really hard to understand like if Song actually is a robot. Because I feel like if she was a robot, Demerzel would have known, especially when she erased her memories, right? I'm so confused. I'm so confused on if they are robots. Again, if you're giving me numbers in your names, I'm led to believe that they are maybe a more advanced kind of robot that maybe Demerzel doesn't even know about, right?
Yeah.
Or that
Demerzel and she came to an understanding.
But then she still erased her memories.
Right, because maybe it was like more desirable for her not to have those feelings. This is a more optimal plan.
I think she would have killed her. because like we have the conversations before where Demerzel's like, the Zephyr sisters is saying like, what would your old version do to you now? And she's like, the old version would kill me, you know? And so like knowing her directive now and how robots probably don't fit into the dynasty living on, especially some robots that hate the dynasty, I think she would kill it if she knew that she was a robot, that Song was a robot. But I don't know. That's just my theory. We don't know that that they are robots or robot-ish or more advanced or maybe some amalgamation of android or whatever. Sure. Right? It's really hard to tell because like all we got was like a number and we're just completely speculating.
A name with a number.
But I think it's hard for me to understand like what Demerzel knows or doesn't know at this point, if those things are true. Right. And so I don't know how much Demerzel plays into the plan yet. Especially because all the things we do get with Demerzel and Gaal seem to indicate that she's so much more focused on this part of the genetic dynasty. And if it mattered so much to her and it did, I don't think she could be playing those too many games. I don't see Demerzel as being as subtle as most humans. She seems very straightforward. She's always very...
Oh, big disagree there.
Sure.
The whole terrorist act to destroy the bridge elevator, with the whole, we found out this episode also that she founded psychohistory with
you think
Hari
that she's
Seldon,
like, do you
and
think
she's told no one this until today? I don't know, dude. Strong disagree. I think she's been hyper obscure with her actions.
I don't know.
she has like all kinds of plots.
It seems so out there that it would be like she knows that Song would be pregnant and is a robot and also is like hoping that this helps the genetic dynasty. I think it's the end of Empire, the end of the genetic dynasty, even if that happens. And I don't think that's part of her plan, but I don't know. That seems to me kind of out there. I think it's like a great fucking theory, but
sure. I mean, I know as much as you do.
And I would love for it. And again, I love that this cult might be trying to do some sort of like creating their messianic figure with Empire and to overthrow Empire DNA, and to make the same. Like that would be, that is super interesting. And if Demerzel is on that is super interesting. I just feel like Demerzel's doing a whole different thing, but I don't know.
No. I mean, you know as much as I do. I truly don't know. But I think it's possible.
But yeah, wild revelation if these guys are robots.
I mean,
she uses life mate very specifically. And obviously, by the way, I went back and we talked about a little bit about marriage. Yeah. And Terrace does mention wife. He does say wife. So either that's an oversight from the writers or not everyone in the world. Marriage is still technically a thing, but or that's a huge oversight on the writers, right? So life mate would probably be the order of the day if you're not using marriage, right? If marriage is outdated or kind of thing, or partner, right? But also seems very specific after learning about the clasp the week before. Yeah. Right. So again, he's very specifically not saying wife or partner, makes me think that they are robot-esque. I think that's what we're supposed to think, but I also don't know. I feel like it could be something we're completely reading too much into.
I don't think so, though. Given the fact that it's a robot worshipping cult, they're way down in the ground, and that like that naming convention is so not human. Yeah, I can't. I mean, if it's not the case, then it's like, I think there's just very misleading writing.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I don't know, but I think that would be it. I think the problem is like, this is a huge revelation. This is like a huge thing. And I'm not sure that it's being made as big a deal as I feel like it should be. Do you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
in the show or like in life, but I guess no one else is really watching Foundation except for us. So I'm like, are we the only ones that have this revelation?
I mean, Lee Pace looked pretty horrified.
he did, but he was also getting beat down.
He was
dude.
also getting
Yeah,
shocked to death. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever that weapon is. Yeah. Also, I was okay, so those soldiers were part of the cult, I guess, or it's like interesting.
Weapon,
yeah,
least, right?
Yeah. So yeah, there's a whole military thing going on here. They're preparing for war. I swear to God. Civil War is coming to Trantor, in some way. And Days, unfortunately, playing right into their trap. Ooh, the fungi trap, whatever that is. Yeah, I think Gaal and Demerzel is next.
Yeah, dude.
In terms of our discussion,
Demerzel beats the shit out of Gaal
in such a cool fucking way, though.
Yeah.
Like she does some Matrix-esque, dodging of the bullets, gets not half her face, but gets her face blown off essentially. And then just goes straight for the jugular. Yeah. Like, oh, Harry, I assumed Harry told you I was a robot. Yeah. I guess not.
Kind of crazy actually to me. I'm just like, why would he keep that secret? God damn it.
Demerzel is so fucking cool in these scenes, and then also like the scariest. Like, let me just throw out some lines for you that are like the scariest thing to ever come from a fucking robot. That will not be a problem in terms of you need to feel like you're drowning. Oh, that won't be a problem. She says, I phrased it as a suggestion. Oh God. When I grasped your throat, I assumed you would not survive. And then the last one is, the most I will do is permit you to live. Damn.
Yeah, dude.
Oh my God.
Shit is cold.
This is like, I think not since I have a particular set of skills.
Yeah, holy shit.
Have we heard some of like the most threatening lines coming from her and in context are like the most I've been scared of her. And I'll say it, a tiny bit turned on.
Yeah, sure.
There's some dominatrix vibes going on here too. And I'm like, oh, Demerzel?
Yeah, for sure.
A little kinky here, aren't we? But yes, I'm scared of you, Demerzel. That's the truth.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, but a little hint of some good. You mentioned it before. We haven't quite gotten there, but you were like, I think we're going to see some robot fighting action, and here we get a little bit of it. And I don't think it disappointed. Did a really good job. It was really cool. It was very short lived, so I hope we get more.
Turns out fighting a robot's pretty hard.
Yeah. So yeah, the biggest revelation here, is not only that Gaal didn't know that she's a robot, right? It's because we were curious, does she know about Demerzel or whatever? And clearly Harry never mentioned it to her. So that's one revelation. Here's the other revelation. She helped with the Prime Radiant. She helped with psychohistory. She used her data to fill in the blanks. He knew before they ever went.
Yep.
To present the idea of Foundation. What?
Yeah.
Demerzel's been a part of this the whole time. This is wild. This is interesting. Again, she's still beholden to her directive. She can never do anything. If it helps the dynasty, she'll help do it. I don't think psychohistory would have survived if she thought that it destroys Empire. She said even in the short term, it'll extend Empire.
That's right.
Right. But she's been trying to extend it even further. She's like, okay, so she believes in psychohistory and she believes in these kinds of things, and she knows it because she's seen how humanity works. Right.
She's got a lot of
over
data.
So much time. Right. So very still beholden to her directive, but the fact that she helped with this very interestingly to me, leads credence to the idea that the Prime Radiant itself, the Calais version, not Calais, the original, but this Calais version of the Prime Radiant is possibly a robot, or it is some sort of AI thing, that there's some more credence to the theory of like robots of the future or something else.
Sure.
Or whatever that has helped become, that is the Prime Radiant now, or that she helped with that is what she's somehow. I don't know what it is, but
of course not. But I think it's real.
But yeah, I don't know. That's the biggest like mic drop, I think, of the episode, is that she helped with all that. I guess I could have guessed, but I never was thinking about it. You know,
I didn't see that coming in a million fucking years. No way.
But yeah, any thoughts on that? Any revelations for you for that kind of moment before?
No, I mean, I just think it's fascinating, and also it's yet another tally in the column of we really shouldn't trust Demerzel.
Yeah, no, she is,
because like the way that her interpretation of fulfilling her directive, constantly seems to have twists and turns that we don't see coming. But
yeah, absolutely. So Gaal, I guess, just tells her everything. She folds immediately. It's like, okay, so there's another foundation, and also there's I can see the future and whatever. It is interesting the way that she talks about the Mule, though. We have wondered, like, is there not anyone like the Mule actually in the Mentalic in Foundation 2, right? Like, how powerful is he? And so she mentioned specifically, like, he's different. He's malignant. Like, we are normal cells, and he's not. He's a cancer, right? And he's more powerful than us. Like, he has the ability to do this thing that we can't do, which is a little contradictory, because it seemed like Gaal maybe thinks that she can, or is like hoping she can't or something when it came to Dawn. Or maybe she was just threatening Dawn and being vague for a specific reason. I don't fucking know. But it's like, okay, so he has this ability, we don't. Her ability only seems to be being able to jump forward, right? To see the future. And obviously, like, she's got some other small abilities, like normal telepath abilities, but that's her like one thing, right? The other interesting thing being that her and the Mule are now considered the outliers of the math. Anytime you factor them into the equations, the math breaks. So, which means neither of them can live, right? Like, that you have to take them out of the equation, or it's just the fact that you can't factor them in because they are so chaotic, whatever. I don't know how to feel about that. Again, there's like this chosen one kind of thing, whatever. I was like, we're different, or whatever. It makes sense that the Mule is an outlier, but her being an outlier feels interesting and kind of, or I don't know, whatever, right? But I do think that it's interesting for us to learn in terms of like the world that they're building, right? That you can't actually, whatever Gaal or the Mule does, we don't know how it affects anything, essentially, because the math breaks. We don't even know. I'm curious, like, how do we even know? I guess the potential is that, is it Gaal manipulating Dawn, and Dawn does the thing that eventually destroys the fleet last week, and then essentially like that was him doing it, and so she could see that part of the math, but her doing it, like, we don't know, right? I guess if she were to be the one, I don't know. How does she factor into that? I was confusing, because it seems like, how did you know that this is going to work, Gaal? If you can't factor yourself into the math. I don't think it's just that's why it's such a weird concept to me, and contradictory. Is like, then you can't know some things and not know, how do you, but that also makes them both like chaos. Like, they can try and do things, but they just don't know what the outcome's going to be, I guess, essentially.
Yeah.
Is what the idea is there.
The trial and error sort of thing.
Yeah. She just definitely can't be predictable, right? So, I don't know. So I guess she knows some things, but she's never going to know like how her actions play out, essentially. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. However we think about psychohistory and whatever, but it's interesting. Feel free to interject if at any point as we move on. She talks about time dimension thing, how the spacers see it as foldable. They see it as a shape. I saw it as a blanket, and then I like wore it, and that I put it around me, and it was like I was pulling all different times of me like to me, new stuff, new revelations to like why she was able to like stay awake before. We've been seeding this for a lot longer than I realized, I have to see more spacers. You can't be talking about spacers and the way that they do things and how this all happens and how they interact with the world and not give me them. Like, I'm so mad right now that we don't ever deal with the space. We only ever get glimpses of them like all these seasons. But I'm like, this is so cool. And it feels like the spacers then would be such a good thing to be helping you, the Foundation, in your goal. But they're just, all they do is like, yeah, we make ships go fast.
Yeah, they're Switzerland.
They're Switzerland. It's like, can we like just we can't use them all at all? To
no, Mattias. They just do ships.
Do they? And again, I know like there's space and there's time. Do they live outside of time then? Normally, or do they like, can they travel through, or is it just literally like how they see it is how they're able to go from one place to another and make a jump because they fold time specifically, Good
questions.
But that's space. It's not time. It's a whole different thing, right? Yeah. I find these concepts fascinating and we only like touch on it, right? I love talking about time. And I want to hear from these spacers. Also, again, feels like if you need help with understanding time and the future that you keep jumping forward to, and also you're confused on why things are black at the other end of like this timeline, and you're trying to, you would think that the people that like see time differently would be someone to at least engage with in this conversation.
Yeah, but you can't engage with Switzerland.
And it's like they're on the Foundation side, then just like go talk to some of them. Like, I don't know, they might have some insight into how you can look into this. I don't know, but whatever. I don't know.
Maybe we'll get a Spacers episode.
I really hope so. And I hope it's fucking mind screwy.
Okay. Here's a question for you. You only get one.
No.
Swashbuckling or Spacers?
I refuse to engage in this. This is a trap.
I don't know if you're going to get both.
This is a trap.
I'm just saying.
I'm done. Okay. Demerzel has the ability
to mind meld,
to do a thing. They're like, because we've constantly been like, well, Demerzel's the one person that can't be shown any of this or any of this kind of stuff, right? Like, which can't be controlled, all this kind of stuff.
Which is
but
true.
She has the ability. Yes, still right? True.
Gaal does establish in the scene that she can't use her abilities on Demerzel.
Yeah.
And Demerzel's like, oh, no problem. I can mind meld with you.
My only thing here is great. Yeah, cool. Demerzel can do this. Seems oddly convenient, though, from like a writer's perspective. It's like, oh, we just need Demerzel to be able to do this thing that we can't explain. That's like whatever. It seems like it's so close to like a writer writing themselves out of a hole, as opposed to like this being an actual thing that's been established.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, now we just learned this information just on a whim. So coincidental. So I'm a little bit annoyed by it, but sure, I will go with it.
Yeah.
As well.
I'm going with it too. The thing for me that was tough about this was I was like, really, Gaal? You're going to give the fucking robot who only wants to preserve the fucking empire, the thing that you have just established needs to fall for you to get what your future in the Prime rating is. You're going to give that robot access to your fucking brain and all your memories?
Gaal,
that's kind of crazy.
Like I
me.
said, Gaal folded super quickly this episode. She just fucking, she's giving all this information. She allows Demerzel to do this thing, not knowing how it's going to affect her or whatever it is, but I guess it could be helpful. I don't know. It seems like she'd be more resistant to the fact that a robot exists and whatever. I guess it's only because Hari knew the whole time that she's able to trust Demerzel in some way, knowing that she helped with psychohistory, knowing that she is essentially helping the Foundation or has been helping the Foundation, if only that it's mutually beneficial, right? In some ways. So I guess that's why Gaal is so trusting right now. I don't know, right?
Yeah, I hear you, but
it seems like it's more for us as an audience than it is for Gaal, right? And for Demerzel, so we can understand like how they can.
I agree,
but we'll see. So she does this thing, which is akin to waterboarding, because I guess she has to feel like she's drowning for some reason.
Well, we've just established, right, that Demerzel's kinky, so.
But why does Gaal need to feel like she's drowning?
That's like her childhood thing. Remember, she's from the water planet, and like when she first
see the future.
Yeah, remember?
Has she always been doing that? We haven't been.
Yeah, when she swims, right?
Is that the only? She sees in her dreams, doesn't she? I guess she's always in cryo when that happens.
Right.
I don't know.
But no, there is. I think they've established that it happens when she swims. It happens when she's underwater.
Sure. Yeah.
Ish.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess coincidental that this also makes you feel like you're drowning.
She hasn't always been drowning. To your point, it's not like, oh, she's only capable of doing it when she feels like she's drowning.
Yes. Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know.
Convenient. Right. So, goes in her mind. She literally like lives it out. She experienced it from Gaal's perspective, and immediately recognizes this is Trantor.
It's a library.
And again, I think I've already mentioned this, right? Your first thought wasn't that this would possibly be Trantor, the one city planet that we've been to. That wasn't your first thought.
And a place that Gaal has been.
Yeah. That's like
where she met Hari Seldon.
Recently there. She was going back there to like, you couldn't like at least narrow down. Like, I think maybe there's 5 planets this could be. And one of them wasn't possibly Trantor. Whatever. I'll forgive that. I think that the coolest thing is like the EMP sequence, even though we don't see it. I love the aftermath of it.
Wait, I'm blanking. What's the EMP sequence?
So she goes into her mind to see the black hole.
Yes.
Which we'll get to. Right. And, the blackness at the end of time. She goes there. And then when she wakes up, the ship is off. And the ship reboots. Then she wakes up and then she sees Gaal there and then she defibs her. And then she goes through like, oh, this is what happened in her very robot way. And I thought that was a very cool visual. Don't know if that was in the writing or whatever. I think it's a really cool editing thing. I loved like that moment of like, what the fuck just happened? And then them waking up, and then she explains that she sets off a very localized EMP when she reboots, which is very cool.
That's super cool.
And the way that she just jumps into action and she's able to like understand everything that happened, and all the time that we missed, great little scene. And then she explains. Oh, also, I know what that was as well. The thing that you didn't know, Gaal, but clearly I would know. You were outside of a black hole. So that wasn't just blackness in space. That was just a black hole. And I don't know. Could be anything. forgive me if I'm wrong, Morgan. I'm just theorizing here. But we haven't seen any sort of black holes recently that this could be. I mean, anyone in the comments, can you remind me? Have we seen anything that this could possibly be near or the result of? Any time? Any thoughts, Morgan?
Yeah, no, I mean, we know what this is.
Oh, so a black hole, you say?
You remember the Invictus guys?
Remember Chekhov's black hole?
Remember the big fucking space gun?
I do find it interesting that Gaal mentions the 4-month time frame, knowing that there's going to be a battle. That feels like new information. But obviously, coincidentally, lines up with the space tendril, whatever glitch that's happening in the Prime Radiant, which she knew was there. You'd think that she would mention like, oh, we should be preparing for this one battle that's going to happen in this one place in 4 months time. You think that's a very specific deadline that you have to be, because to me, Gaal was running around not knowing when this was going to happen, not knowing the specific time frame. And then like only, but you would think that if you knew that your dream lined up with this one thing, that it would be a very specific thing to prepare people for.
Agree.
This is the first time we're hearing that aligns. It's like, oh, okay, so that is the extinction event is going to happen on Trantor on this battle, whatever is happening while he's searching for the Foundation. And then also probably is going to involve this black hole gun at some point now that we know it exists. But Demerzel might not know.
Seems like she doesn't know about the second Foundation.
She definitely did not.
So
definitely did not know.
I guess not she knew about this.
Yeah, she knew someone's working in the shadows. It's interesting to understand like what she knows about Dusk's gift. And because it seems like she doesn't. You think that if she did know that she would know immediately what this is an omen towards, right?
Agree, because she does know immediately. She's like, right? I think she says, correct me if I'm wrong. I think she says like, I know it's a black hole by the sound. So it's not specifically the machine. It's that she recognizes like generic black hole-ness or whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't think she knows about I agree. I don't think she does.
Yeah, so that's it's odd to me that she wouldn't know, but maybe we'll get an explanation as how Dusk has been able to hide this from everyone.
Yeah.
Right? Because I feel like if she did know, she'd be going straight to Dusk.
Yeah.
Be like, hey, I think we have a problem here.
Yeah.
But who knows? We'll see. I guess she is going to head back to Trantor immediately. And while she's heading back, she hears about the attack on New Terminus through the sound waves or whatever, which gives her more precedence to go straight back to Trantor to help save Empire and the Dynasty. Because if they get a hold, they know exactly where the Mule's going now. They know the battle's going to happen in like 4 months-ish time. They know that the Mule is a big threat to everything. He's an outlier. And her whole thing is preserving the Dynasty, and this is all leading to the destruction of the Dynasty and everything, to be fair, but at least the destruction of the Dynasty. So she's heading straight back there.
Yeah.
So you've often asked the question, is she still beholden to her directive, or will she learn to like team up with the Foundation or, to kind of work her way around that, right? Essentially. Right. And to me, I think we're still leaning on, from my perspective, you could tell me if you have a different one. My perspective is still that she's leaning on strictly directive. That's it.
Yeah.
And she's, again, not teaming up with the Foundation, but allowing Gaal to live, if only because it's possible it's still upholds the directive.
Or that Gaal is beneficial in some part of the equation of the prime radiant to
even though she can't factor her Gaal into the math.
Right. It doesn't mean that
but
she's bad.
does know that Foundation 2 has been working in the shadows, and it's possible that it could still be working, right? Even though she's very angry that you killed one of my children, essentially.
Can we talk about that just for a second?
No, go ahead. Yeah, we skipped all over that.
Because I mean, honestly, it's one of the least interesting parts of the scene, which speaks so highly.
Well, I mean, to
how good the scene is.
No, for sure. And I'm sorry, but it did answer a lot of our questions from last week.
Yep,
that he is dead.
Because Gaal, well, yeah, maybe. But Gaal is like, oh, you should have another one in a tube. Just pop him out.
Yes, yeah.
Her face like freaks out. She's like, I raised him.
Yes.
And I was like, Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
That's the thing is, like, I do love that she would prefer not to. Yeah. I guess her preference is to not bring out a backup if she could have the original clone, because she does raise them, right? And it is different, and that backup could come out not quite the same. That's you know. And I do love that she's, I mean, her love always seems to be focused on the Day character, and this is the one that's going to be closest. Dawn is the closest to Day in this.
I mean, this
part
Dawn
of
was
Empire,
like a couple weeks away from being Day, right?
Yeah, and so I think that she should be rightfully angry, and I kind of love that there is some sort of emotion, whether or not we believe is actually human or whatever. But for Demerzel as a character, I do like that it yes, there is a backup, but there's a personal thing for her.
It's a failure if she has to use a backup.
And the way that she says it too, it's so clinical in a way, his nanites stopped projecting his life lines, whatever. So she's directly connected to this thing, and she says it so clinically, like a monitor would. It's like, no, it's just he stopped breathing or whatever, But to imagine her in that moment when that happens, that's the emotion that's running through my mind, how she feels about that she's not saying out loud. She's giving you this information, but she's also telling you that if you would be listening, that she is fucking pissed off at you, Gaal, because you just killed one of my essentially children.
You manipulated him into losing the fleet.
Yeah.
And then you got him killed. Yeah.
I could feel her anger in those lines.
For sure.
So yeah. Human? Who knows?
Hot take though.
Yeah.
Still not convinced that Dusk is dead. I think likely. I'm not saying for sure.
I mean, I would think that would know though, right? I would think that she would know if the nanites stop.
Unless
he experienced decompression. The nanites can't fix us, essentially.
Did she literally say that?
That's what she said. She opened up with because I think Gaal asked where Dawn is, and she said, he experienced explosive decompression, and his nanites stopped sending signals of his lifeline.
We know we have the technology to get rid of the nanites. We saw it in an episode or two ago.
But I don't think that would. I don't think he has the technology in a suit. I don't think they would be doing that.
I'm alluding to some larger sort of plot.
I just think it. If
the Foundation, if Gaal actually wanted to keep him alive, put him in the suit, get him blown out, steal him, get rid of the nanites, make Demerzel think he's dead.
Oh, okay. So I wasn't considering that. So you're thinking the Foundation is still working on
finding a way to have
Dawn
him.
And has taken him away from Demerzel. Right. Because I didn't like it from a perspective if Demerzel has to think that he's dead, because otherwise her emotion doesn't ring true for me. Right.
Right.
And
Demerzel
I think it feels real.
Demerzel does think he's dead.
Yeah.
But to me, it would, if he's still alive, and I'm not saying he is necessarily, this would also justify why Gaal is like, I did use you and I'm sorry, but why she wasn't more like, I can be honest with you now, was because there's still something else she needed to do.
I would give the chances of this one like a solid 30%.
I would say lower than that. I'd say 20 or 10.
Yeah, that would be quite the wild swing if they had been planning this kind of stuff. Gaal doesn't seem like she knew that he was going to get blown out of an airlock. That would assume that she did know. And so like what act was she putting on for us or for, if she were doing it for, if Demerzel was in the room and she didn't, and she thought that this was going to happen, right? Then maybe I could assume that like, oh, that's a great theory. But the way that she reacted to it and all that kind of stuff leads me to believe that that would be wildly thinking so far ahead that even I like that
she can't see the future.
You're correct. I did not factor that in.
I don't know either. I'm just saying, like,
it seems like she can only see one specific future, to be fair.
Yeah, I agree. The thing that I can't get over is that we didn't get a body and he got sucked out in a space.
If you never see a body, that is always a true statement. If you don't see a body, they're not dead. I will say Demerzel would be the one to know, but you're right. Could they have been hiding it from Demerzel?
I mean, we literally in the same season have another clone of this same character who'd found a way to get his nanites out to mislead Demerzel.
I want to see some backups because at this point, like if she doesn't go and like reclone backups, like what the fuck is going on? Like we keep having this speculation. It's just like something needs to happen. Yeah. But yeah. Two things, one involving Gaal, one little theory, I guess. It's neither here nor there, but we never talked about the zygote. It was something I completely like glossed over from last week.
What was this?
She, when Dawn and her in the ship, she's looking at a thing and he's like, what is that? And she puts it away. She's like, it's a zygote. It's my daughter.
Oh, yes.
Or something.
Right.
So I was under the impression that Salvor Hardin was supposed to be a bigger part of the series based on the books, but I was not sure exactly how this all works, considering Gaal is a non-existent character kind of in the books in this form or whatever, and like how that plays into Salvor Hardin and all that kind of thing. But also now it seems like, is that supposed to be a clone of essentially like Salvor? Are we like, there's someone has theorized that like possibly that Salvor is going to come back into the story. What do you think? That
I have this one. I truly have no idea on. I'm completely in the dark.
Would you like to see Salvor Hardin come back?
I mean, I love that actor.
Yeah,
I think Salvor is a cool character. Yeah. Absolutely. A lot more compelling. Than
I mean,
Gaal.
it would definitely be a lot. That's many years in the future. I'm assuming you can't just grow. It's going to take some time, but I mean, there was an assumption there from me that when I saw that zygote, that it was just going to be a thing she's saving for after she establishes a better humanity, right? After the Dark Ages, she can bring this thing back into a better humanity. But that was always my assumption. I don't know, but I guess some people are theorizing that possibly it's going to bring back Salvor into the story, and I'm not sure. That's a theory, so I don't know how I feel about it, but it's a thing, right? Okay. Again, I love this quick idea. I love this idea that even in her, I think it's maybe because, the talk about like science versus religion, and how we make sense of like all these things, and I love her robot way of like justifying. She's like, I can't tell if your visions right now until they come true, they are just hallucinations or premonitions. I don't know. I don't have enough data. And I do like that. Yeah. Because I think people do have these thoughts or dreams or whatever, and they see them as like premonitions and stuff and whatever. It's like, but we don't know. Like very analytical, very logistical way of like obviously looking at that. Mm-hmm. And she's willing to believe, though. She's willing to say like, it could be a premonition. Yeah. Could be true. But until it does come true, I can't believe you, which is why you're allowed to stay alive. But I'm going to go back and do my own thing, And it's like, maybe he'll show up on Trantor, but also sounds like he is because he's taking over your fleet right now. So, so she's probably leaning more towards the premonition thing, but she can never fully trust because otherwise it could be hallucinations. Yeah. And I do like that. I do like that this idea is like first of all, show us, right? We can never be sure of what we're seeing. We can never take at face value, like these premonitions or visions or whatever. We have to be very smart about it. Yeah. Like we can't just change everything. That's always been her MO, right? Especially like as empires, like just because your math can show it, like things change. We've talked so many times about how things can change, right? Yeah. And I don't want to give Gaal so much. Like she keeps screwing up over and over again. Like we need to stop focusing on just these visions. Yeah. Like focus on here and now. What are you doing now? And so, yeah, just some quiet wisdom from a robot, These are literally just visions. So stop caring about it. Let's move on to Foundation and what's going on in New Terminus. I think we can get through this pretty quickly. Mm-hmm.
Who you want to talk about first?
My first thought is Tauren.
Showing some cleavage.
His shirt's on though. It is on. Technically.
I mean, like I don't know if we'd let him into some public establishments with that outfit, but it is a shirt nonetheless.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. There's like Tauren as a character is becoming like more interesting to me. Because he seems to be like the voice of reason and like all in the room. Yeah. Throughout all of these scenes. And again, we talk about the reluctant hero thing. He's like made up to be this reluctant hero, and he talks about like, I wanted to be famous, but I never wanted to be important, and Beta is the one that's like, I know she's like, you are important. She doesn't say it outright, but I love the idea that Beta basically says, no, this famous and important are the same thing.
Same thing.
You know? And it's like Beta knows who he is and who he's going to be. Every time he mentions something like in the room, she looks so proud of him. Yeah. That like, hey, yeah, stand up for something, because she is actually like the person. And I thought that she was the kind of vapid. And when we first met her, like she was the kind of one that like cared more about the fame and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. And now we find out like she actually does care about humans and humanity. And the more that we learn about her, she becomes like so interesting. And it's like she loves Tauren because she knows he has that potential as well. Yeah. And he's the one that cares more about the fame and the scatters and the kind of thing. But she's finally seeing, and he's living up to that. He's coming into his own. I think into this episode, he's starting to actually be a believer. I think he actually is believing essentially in like Hari and the Foundation. His whole thing was like to take himself away from it. Yeah. Like I don't want to be a part of this. Like your foundation or your whatever is like, I just want to be like famous and rich and whatever it was. And it's because like, he's had an uncle that kind of raised him and obviously has some issues there of raising people, probably, and whatever he had to deal with,
sure.
And again, we never talked about it last week, but this idea that like that Magnifico so succinctly brings up that, oh, this guy never got a new arm to spite you, and as Tauren put it, to remind me I was a son he can never have. Yeah, it's one way to grow up. So yeah, he'd want to stay away from everything. He wouldn't want to be a part of that inheritance. But now he's like coming into the idea is like, I am a Mallow. And maybe the Foundation does mean something, especially because I'm seeing things. I'm seeing how it's weird how I was like, oh, he's so scared of the Mule after that one episode. I was like, oh no, that made him more resolved than anything. Is I'm looking back on that scene with the Mule because he now knows what the Mule is capable of. Yeah. That he's like, oh, maybe there is something to what the Foundation has been about this whole time. I don't know. I just find that like super interesting. Like it's like these subtle things that's going on with Tauren that we see in the episode, and I can't wait to see what Tauren does. But yeah, they go through. They try and get to the second Foundation. I'm sorry, the first Foundation. The Ember almost blows them out of the sky. Not a great strategy, but sure. Yeah, I guess if you can just show up somewhere and just blow up, not a great place to live, you know?
Yeah. Also, it's, I don't know, I'm not going to dwell on this, but it's a little like silly that it's like, yeah, you can just say Han Pritchard loud enough times, and they're like, come on in. Like it's the password at a club.
Yeah. But I do love this like little prison thing. Yeah. This like jail scene, right? We already talked about a little bit of the fight between Randu and Han, which I thought was pretty cool. Yeah. I was like, oh, Randu's got some spunk. Like he does a very piratey thing, which is he cheats. Yeah. Which is again, if you're reminded of the most piratey movie we've had, Pirates of the Caribbean, it's like the very quotable "You cheated, pirate." Yeah. Duh. So I love that. Again, Han tries to be. Calls like, more of a two-handed weapon, chairs, but also is like, I got the upper hand. Like I do that. He fights by the rules. And then clearly Randu shows like why he's still alive. It's because he doesn't follow the same fucking rules as Han. So we're seeing a little bit of how they have been battling. I didn't realize they had such a rivalry between them for so long, but sure.
We get we get some of that backstory too from what's his face? I can't remember his name. The guy who's in
Ember?
charge. Yeah. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. Here's this was the one of the things I said I was going to throw at you at the thing. We both love D&D here.
Yes.
I'm a big D&D fan. One of the first times I DM'd, I did something very similar. And so for some reason, this scene just reminded me of a D&D party, like getting together. Yeah. As the cliche is that most D&D stories or campaigns will always start off in a tavern, right? Mm-hmm. And that's how you get all your heroes together.
Yeah, you meet at a tavern.
My preferred method and the way that I've DM'd the first time I DM'd and the way that I did it was like, I don't want to do the cliche thing, so I'm going to do something different. And I forced them all into prison, which made a lot more sense to me. Like if you want to get away from cliche, I think an easier way to get your characters to be on the same page is to put them into a situation where they all have to work their way to get out of it. Sure. And so that was the way that I did it. And that's why that's why this felt so D&D coded to me. Yeah. At least for me, I don't know if it felt that way to you, but even when Magnifico's like, I'm only doing it so I can live one other hallowed day. But if you gave me another purpose, I would gladly do that. That felt to me like a character like going to the DM being like, just give me a reason to be here. Yep, totally. That's all I was thinking of. So Morgan, all of that preamble to say, this ragtag group of D&D party. Yeah. What classes do you think everyone in this room is?
Okay, so let's start with the easy ones.
Yes, yeah. Magnifico.
Magnifico's a bard. Obviously. Like it's not even close.
Yes. Yeah.
I think we could probably say Han also is either a wizard or a sorcerer.
Oh yeah, because of the mentalic part of it. I was thinking warlock.
I guess.
Yeah, because you could be a little bit of fighty, a little bit of because the way I like to do a warlock is more less magical, more physical. Yeah. But you have those elements, right?
Sure.
Of things, right? Yeah.
Let's go to the Mallows. I don't think either of them simply fits into an existing class. We're gonna have to get cute with it. But I love that. I like this question.
Yes.
I think that I'm probably. I think Tauren. I'm going like ranger maybe.
Ooh, I like that. Yeah.
Kind of, which just like, I mean, for swashbuckling sort of things.
Yeah.
The fact that maybe he's like, likes trying diplomacy, but will also set traps and stuff like that.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe. Man. Beta. I'm tempted.
Could be a fighter.
Could be a fighter, but I'm also tempted to, and this is not, I'm not saying what you're saying is wrong.
Yes.
I'd be tempted maybe to go like druid with the kind of
she's
empathy.
very supporty. Yeah. She's a support kind of character.
Yeah. Maybe.
Because she's not a healer. That would be the cliche thing to do, right?
Would, but that also
but I think that
rude.
she does like, she does have this, but she has a manipulative factor too. She's able to compel people. I find her the more compelling-ish character more than say like the Mule when we talk about people who compel and stuff, right? She seems to be the one that like is able to do that.
Okay, so here's my
she's
pivot.
very political. Yeah,
I could also see her going sorcerer.
Yeah, but there's no magic. Well, I guess it's D&D. Yeah, we're
right.
Yeah, we're
and
playing,
then if we class her up as sorcerer,
sure.
Then I think, I'm just thinking. I'm trying to fill out the party here, but then, okay, hang on.
Randu's either straight rogue or barbarian.
Barbarian was what I was going to say.
He's ragey, right?
Barbarian for sure.
Yeah.
But if, wait. This is good. Because then I think also if she's a sorcerer, he's a barbarian, then I think Han's a paladin.
Han is definitely like paladin coded.
Yeah.
But I do like the idea that warlock can still be, because my thing about warlock is my favorite class now, and I haven't gotten to play them very often. But ever since I discovered warlock, I like their versatility. And to me, like warlocks have a specific patron, and most people assume patron is some sort of like, it's usually like a god figure that they have to serve, right?
God,
the patron gives them their power that they essentially like serve them, right? He has a patron. The patron to me for warlock doesn't have to be a single entity. It can be some sort of organization or whatever.
Foundation.
And to me, Foundation is his patron.
100%. I think that makes a lot of sense.
Foundation gives him the thing, and that's what makes him like a warlock. And how those powers manifest make him he can still be paladin-esque or whatever, but like he could be physical, he could be whatever, but a warlock is so versatile in that way. Yeah. How you choose, like what you choose to do. When I played a warlock once, it was this shape-shifting detective type, and he used his powers. His patron was more of like a godlike thing, but he's like Native American, and and his patron was whatever spirit, you know?
Cool.
But his things became, I could friend you, I could charm you, I can like get information from you, and all of his like powers manifested in a way to like help him in detective solving, or running fast or doing what, these kinds of things. Right. So
that sounds like an awesome character.
It was not like it was a very different kind of character that I feel like that to me is like, I think most people play warlocks in a very specific way. And I'm like, but warlock can be literally any of them. Yeah. If you just tweak it a little bit. You could be any class. That's why I like Han, is like he fits those kind of things. And I think, I would agree. I would say like Randu is definitely barbarian. I could see Tauren being the wild card. Like maybe he's multi-classed or some way. Like he's definitely we don't see him being physical in any way. So he's definitely not monk, but I could see him being roguish because he's like the pirate who never was, right? He's and he
doesn't really have a team. Yeah. It's just kind of like him and his wife.
Yeah. And to me, subclass of a rogue is swashbuckler from the Swords of Coast, and that's one of my other favorite classes, which is not surprising. Morgan,
could we have seen this coming?
Played a swashbuckler in D&D. So it can, again, to go with the theme, I could see him being the rogue. I could also see Beta being that,
For sure.
If we needed to, but I do like her being more of like a kind of the support, right? Because she's very much manipulating in the background a lot of times. She's very good at talking, but also a thief can talk very well. True. And I've often played thieves that can be really good at getting out of a situation without having to lift a finger. 100%. And I feel like she could do that as well. So yeah, fun little thing.
Yeah,
just,
I like that party.
It's definitely a D&D group. That's this little ragtag group. They all split up at the end, which don't split the party, guys. What the fuck is wrong with you?
Rule number 1, right?
Actually, I don't agree with the split the party rule.
Oh, wow.
I
this
think
is maybe the hottest take of the episode.
I think split the party all you fucking want.
Wow.
If a DM, I think the reason DMs don't like it is because they don't factor it in and they can't do 2 things at once. I have no problem splitting the party. I think it's very easy. You just have to be very adaptable whenever that happens.
I hear you.
Yeah.
I am not trying to disagree with, because it sounds like the point you're making is that you should be able to split the party because you should be able to do whatever you want in D&D, and you just need to make sure that you have enough structure in place to do that. And I think that's a good argument because D&D on a railroad track sucks, right? And the whole point of tabletop RPGs is you can do anything. Counterpoint, and it has nothing to do with the character choice stuff that you're talking about. Last time I split the party, perma character death.
Oh, that can happen. Well, here's the thing.
I think the reason you don't split the party isn't because it's hard on your GM. I think it's because you could die.
No, that's
a lot harder to fight the dungeons or the bad guys that they have for you when you're at half strength or whatever.
I considered that, and I think that becomes a problem if the point of your game and the point of the players at the table, it depends on how the players at the table want to play. And if their point is like, I want to be the strongest, I want to min max, which is a lot of the original games that I played with my friends, that I'm a role player, I'm an actor, I like the story aspect of it, right?
Totally.
And so there's a way, if I wanted to as a DM, I was like, okay, this character is gonna die if he stays alone, but so how do I get them all back together so they're all in the same battle?
Yeah.
You can do it. And I care more about story. And literally, if you have to hand wave it and find a way and like hold an initiative until you can get them together or find a way to get these characters there just in time to save him or whatever, that's a cool story element. I feel like that can work. But obviously, if you're not playing for the role play and the story part of it, then obviously splitting the party sucks because you're weakened as a party.
Right.
And then these people are battling and these people are battling and they're not in the same battle. It does become wonky in that way. I still think you could be adaptable depending on the table you're at to make that work and find a way to get it. Yeah. So that's just me.
No, I hear you.
But also, like, I like railroading.
Oh no, we're gonna fight on this.
Maybe the hot take should have been at the beginning of the episode. This is a pop culture thing that we should have done.
Disagree.
Railroad being on tracks, I don't mind. Like literally, when I said like
having
my first time,
what to do.
I don't mind I don't mind a little bit of meandering. But when I DM'd, like I said, I put people into a prison. And don't get me wrong, I introduced each character. We were all doing different things. We were going different directions. It's like, okay, I don't know how to get you guys in prison, but I'm going to find a way to get you there. Yeah. And some of them tried to fight their way out of it. And I'm like, well, no, I'm just going to get you there anyway, by any means necessary. And yeah, I'll railroad you to a certain way. How you got there is like part of the journey. Like I'll still allow things to meander like a little bit, but you know, I still need you to be here for the story to happen.
Of course.
I need you guys to meet each other or whatever.
It's impossible to do a full campaign without some railroading every now and then.
Yeah, I'm very much like, if we have a story and we have a campaign, we have a track, we'll stay on this. I'll find a way to get you all to this track. If you want to get off it, sure, we'll figure out a way to get you there. But if I have to say like, okay, either you're going this direction or the story's not happening, I'll do that, to get you back on track. Also, again, depends on the table and what game you're playing. That's just how I like to do things. So I don't have a problem with like a little bit of railroading.
A little bit, fine.
I might railroad a lot. I don't know.
Yeah,
I haven't DM'd that much, to be fair. But I'm very interested in doing more D&D,
Yeah.
But also when I'm like playing as a character, I'm like, I don't like side quests. This is just me in video games too. I was like, I'm not a side quest person. It's like, give me the main.
Yeah, see, I think it depends on the side quest.
It depends on the side quest. Is love at the end of the side quest? Because if not,
are you going to find a sword that helps you kill the big guy in the main quest?
Okay, that's been D&D talk for this episode.
I'm ready for the D&D corner. No sweat, dude.
Does Foundation have a D&D? We can do a Foundation. We should do a Foundation D&D variant. That would be actually kind of pretty cool.
Be pretty sick.
There's a lot of, I mean, I know there's good sci-fi versions of things out there, but I think Foundation could lend itself very well to like some really cool classes and maybe we should do that. Anyway, you know, there's so much other notes like I have here, but the gist of it is, you know, they get Magnifico to play for Inber and like everyone else, and the music seems to work. And
they talk about it. They're like,
they do. It disarms you. It strips you down. It, you know, essentially makes you vulnerable, right? It makes you able. So it doesn't control, so to speak, but allows something else to come in. Yeah. You know? So super interesting stuff there. I was always curious. This is the first time I feel like we've actually seen the music actually doing anything. Yeah. And understanding exactly how it works. And also it's still unsure of like, is it the music or is it Magnifico? Right? Seems like the music helps, but I'm still confused on if it's coming from Magnifico at all or if it's coming from the music.
I have a lot of questions because I'm like, is it Magnifico literally, or is it the physical instrument?
Yeah.
Right. Or is it like
the Visi sonar, we should say? I think it's the first time we've heard it named.
Here's the other thing that's weird to me is that like, it seemed like for the past couple episodes, we've been strongly alluding to the fact that like Magnifico is the mule's muse or something, and that his music augments his power or whatever. But like in the same episode where he doesn't have Magnifico with him, he also like destroys that fleet and makes them fire upon each other.
That was that was also a question and a confusion for me too.
So I'm like, how? So also Magnifico's not that important, is he?
That's the thing. My question was also like the way that they talk about the music, and they're like, oh, they specifically mentioned this is how he's able to take over Calgon. And I was like, we didn't see that.
Yeah.
We didn't see, as far as we know, we didn't hear any music. I mean, he walked up by himself. We did see when he walked up, we did see a little bit of like lens distortion before he came up, you know, and I don't know if that was supposed to be the music.
Well, but maybe I'd give that like a 10% chance.
But we didn't hear anything. Like, you think you would hear it on the wind or something?
Not only did we not hear anything, but the general and his sidekick have a line where they do a scan, and they establish that the mule is alone through technology.
Yeah. Right. Yes. Yeah.
So I don't think Magnifico was there for that.
No, at least, and he's not there for like the remainders. Like, yeah, he's never really powerful. Around.
Which is like the other thing, right? It's like, okay, well, maybe. So this thought
they've all mentioned like he brings him into battle. I was like, well, when do we get to see that? Yeah. You know? So I'm like, I'm so confused on if they're saying it or if that's what they think or believe, and they're putting a lot of emphasis on this. Yeah. Or if this is a red herring and it's not actually that necessary and which is making me question a lot about Magnifico's actual.
Yeah. So this is what I started thinking about today too, is that like Magnifico is actually like a spy or something, or just even more powerful than the mule. And he's just riding this wave to get inside the Foundation. Mm-hmm. Right. And that like the mule is the red herring and Magnifico is really the one that we need to be worried about or whatever. Cause I'm like, he's literally just waltzing into the most like inner sanctum of these people's society because they all think it's important to the mule or whatever.
Yes.
But they don't have any idea actually of what his powers are or how they relate to the mule. And that kind of was like, ooh, okay. I don't know.
Something I've been seeing online is the theory that the real Mule is Magnifico.
Yeah, totally. This is the sort of thing that I was thinking about. Yeah. Where I'm like,
how long has that been playing in your mind or in your
just
head?
This last episode.
Okay. Yeah.
Only in the last episode where I was kind of like,
because the spy thing was always possibly there ever since they took him for me, but I just couldn't tell. Right.
Yeah.
Like there was no indication. But yeah.
I'm starting to think that like Magnifico is actually like very, very powerful.
Yeah. And I don't, to me, whether or not this theory is true, it should not minimize like the power that the Mule has.
Totally.
Right. He clearly is doing things on his own.
100%.
He doesn't need Magnifico there unless Magnifico is really that powerful and he's controlling all of that. Right. But I definitely like it. We have seen no indication that the music actually is needed for the Mule to do anything.
Right.
And Magnifico, as I said last week, don't be fooled by a fool. Like just because they say he's a fool and say he's a clown doesn't mean that he is, right?
Agree. Totally agree.
He's
it hadn't occurred to me until
there's
this
a weird
episode,
manipulative thing going on with him.
Yeah.
And the way he plays music. I also was like so confused when like where they were like, just hear him play. I was like, oh, this is the thing that we're here for, that he is that important, that you need that Inber and everyone dropped everything for him to like play the music, which seemed very weird and off for me, that would be what they do and that they did feel how important he was and stuff. But I don't know. And then of course, knowing all that, thinking all that, they bring him straight to fucking Hari Seldon. Which is, if I'm the Mule, or if I'm working for the Mule, or if Magnifico is the person we should be worried about, not the place we want him to be, but exactly the place he's been trying to get to this entire time.
Correct.
Because I'll be honest, I did not see Magnifico run out of the vault.
No. I didn't see him.
And I have no idea where he is now.
Yeah.
Where is Magnifico? And is he still in the vault with Hari? Because that's what makes me think something's really wrong here. Something's up here.
Yeah.
You know? I mean, which is basically like that's the end of the episode. That's speculation. We're in speculation corner. We're also kind of like wrapping up the episode, because I don't know if there's really anything else that we haven't said. That's basically what happens. Like they go in there. I mean, there's some funny things I love, there's the idea of the too undisciplined versus the too authoritarian, but I like the spacer stuff more, we could talk about like all these different things, but I mean, my favorite thing is like Harry's reaction to the Mule. He just fucking fucks off. He's like, what? He just disappears.
And no field
He's
up.
like, yeah, I'm not dealing with this. Smart move by Hari. I love that he didn't know about it, because of course this foundation
didn't know about the Mule.
Yeah, we always felt like this foundation is going to die. Like the second foundation is a real one. I mean, the real Hari is like where it's at, right? But this foundation and whatever, this is a far gone conclusion. He's still doing whatever his whole directive is, and assuming this is all part of a this is the crisis and all that kind of stuff, but everyone else is playing a different thing, a wholly different thing. They have no idea about it, and I love that Torin's the one that brings it up. He's like, what are we talking about? No, what about the Mule? And I love that Harry's reaction, or this Hari is just,
he's like, the Mule.
What? So funny. But again, Magnifico, does anyone see him go anywhere? I might have to rewatch the episode more and just really analyze, but I notice we don't see him outside. So even if he does run from inside, we don't see him leave. We get glimpses of all our other main characters. Inber goes on the ship. He leaves Ebling behind. We see Randu be a coward and kind of like run off, We
see Torin carrying
Torin.
Beta.
And I'm sorry, I'm almost skipped over the most important fucking fact, because let me tell you, if anything fucking happens to Beta, Apple TV specifically I am coming for you. Because you better not take away one of my favorite characters, one of the most interesting characters of the show.
Yeah.
Don't. Whatever you're thinking, stop it. But Torin, good on you for stepping up.
Truly.
True love.
Big episode for Torin in general.
Great episode for Torin.
Yeah.
Again, I wanted more space battles, but it sounds like we might be getting that next week.
You got some swashbuckling. I would say grabbing someone, throwing them over your shoulder, and running off a battlefield with them.
Is pretty swashbuckling. Yeah. He's living up to the roguish nature of him, you know? But what is going on with Beta? Like that Null field really like knocked her out. I have to understand. Hopefully maybe we'll understand if there's some sort of connection there, because I don't want it to just be another damsel in distress thing. But I guess if it gives Torin a way to like to believe in something, sure, right?
I'm fearful it might be, and I think it's okay.
It's fine. But if anything happens to her, I will never forgive anyone for this. But yeah, where do you think Magnifico is? And do you think
I think he's up to no good. I'm nervous about him.
I think the theory of him being actually the one that's in charge is more true now than ever. Because we didn't see him out there. And I think it's definitely, and other people have tried to call it and stuff.
I think it was like last week or 2 weeks ago. I don't remember when I said something along the lines of like, I think he's actually a lot more powerful than we give him credit for.
Sure. Yeah.
But this is the first time where I was like, oh, I think he also might be malevolent.
Yes.
Like not just powerful, but I think he might not be one of the good guys.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I brought it up at the beginning of this episode, and it's not a coincidence, I think, in terms of like how the Mule talks about it, right? He says multiple times, do you ever feel like you're living a life that's not your own? I feel like I'm wearing someone else's dreams. And if the Mule is not actually the Mule, in the sense that like if the Mule is being controlled,
if he's just a mentalic that is being used by,
that would
Magnifico.
Make a lot of sense into why he feels like he's going through life in a different capacity, that he doesn't feel like he's living his own life. And also this weird sense of destiny, you know, it seems like the thing that was given to him, in the way that like, you know, he's able to compel people and give them their desire or whatever, the desire that he got, whoever he is, was this destiny, right? He was given this narrative of his life that he was important.
He doesn't even know why,
but it was given to him from someone else. And it's possible that that's Magnifico. Again, I don't want to diminish. That still makes them, if they're both on the same side and both working together, and Magnifico is more powerful, it doesn't diminish the Mule necessarily in the sense that like that makes them both very fucking dangerous, right? Because I still like the Mule and Pillow as this character. He's doing such a great job of this struggle of like his own destiny versus and being this guy who is needing to destroy everything for whatever reason that he doesn't even understand. Like it's super compelling and super dangerous and super interesting. And I feel like most times it would become like, oh, the real villain was this guy like all along. Doesn't make from will always switch. I hope it doesn't become like, oh, he's just like under control the whole time, that this is really not part of his personality. I think it would be great if it is both, like he is this and also Magnifico is like also powerful, you know, and true. Cause it makes them both very dangerous at that point.
I agree.
Know,
totally.
as opposed to like, oh, someone was controlling him the whole time. That would be like disappointing,
I agree.
You know? But that is a prevailing theory. And again, I will point out, never saw him leave the vault. So, and next week's episode is called Foundation's End.
Turns out it's only 7 episodes.
For Foundation, for sure. I don't think we're even going to get to a Trantor battle of 4 months from now by the end of the season. I'm sure that's a another season away, you know?
Do you think we see Dusk next episode?
Oh, absolutely.
Do you think?
I think Dusk is going to retaliate in ways that, or in some ways, I don't.
He's going to use his big gun.
There are some things that are going to happen for sure. And if there's a huge battle going on in Terminus, how far does this gun reach? And if they need to stop the Mule, if they realize how important the Mule is, Demerzel will be able to perceive that and show like how important these things are and what's happening here. Like I think we're all gearing up again. Swashbuckling's imminent, but also like battle is like coming, like war is coming. And I think that what I wanted this whole thing to be like half of this episode to be just like a battle episode. It sounds like we're going to get some cool battle episodes next week. And I'm super highly like looking forward to it. And if there's any, and again, as much as I love swashbuckling, I do love dogfighting like so much. Like I was in the aviation department, and when I was in the military, I love aviation. I've always loved flight. I love space battles. I wish I want to make my own someday, you know? Yeah. So I hope we get some space battles along with some ground battles, you know?
But I just remembered something I got to talk about really quick too.
Sure.
It just puts another check in the column of something's not right with Magnifico. He picks everyone except Han and keeps Han in the prison.
Because he knows. I love how, first of all, I love how he says, my lady friend and her pet.
Yeah.
It's her pet. You're right. He doesn't choose Han specifically.
He's the Mentalic. Shit.
That's something the internet didn't notice, but only here, only on Codependent Content. Any more speculation corner, I think? I
just want to say that I'm fucking very excited for next week.
No, I'm very excited for next week. I think it's going to be a very fun, action-packed episode, or at least I really hope so. Some cool things are happening. Yeah. And man, if that's in episode 7, I'm assuming it's a 10 episode season.
I thought we knew that, is it not?
I think we talked about this before. Apple typically does 10 episodes and we don't ever have more or less. Right. And so except for like Shrinking has done more, I think they've done like 12 or 13, I think. And, but they don't typically shorten or truncate their seasons as far as I have been aware. But I have not seen any information on like how many episodes this season's going to be.
Cool.
The last segment, this is as we move on away from Speculation Corner, we're going to go into a new segment. Something that I felt like we should embrace, something I'm going to throw at you. That I think for this podcast is just a fun little thing. And because I fucking bring something up like this, like every episode anyway, it's kind of my version of who won the episode that I've seen in other podcasts that I love to listen to. And instead, this is who comes out. Who do I have a bigger crush on this episode?
Yeah.
Who do we have a bigger crush on this episode, or essentially who won the episode? Right. That's my question to you, Morgan, for this segment.
And it's complicated. So we haven't really established the rules of how you judge who won. And maybe that's part of the fun.
That's the fun, right? Yeah. Cause it could be anything, you know, it could be, I'm
deciding between Torin and Demerzel.
Oh yeah. Those are good. Very good. Yeah.
Torin really stepped into his own this episode. Absolutely. Starting to care about things beyond himself.
Dave's cute. He has some fun, cute lines, but he doesn't do enough. Doesn't do nearly enough.
No, I mean, like retroactively, Dave's won a lot of episodes. Okay. Yeah. So this isn't his.
Yeah.
Conversely, man, I continue to think that Demerzel is the most interesting character on the show, and also one of the best performances. Like just, oh my God, chilling, fascinating, creepy, cool. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, but again, you know, if I'm being really honest, I feel like Demerzel's won a lot of episodes. So I'm going to say Torin.
Okay.
He's really, I think this is the biggest change we've seen out of him. It was a cool episode for him in a big way.
Okay. Crushing on Torin. This episode,
Also,
absolutely. That shirt did it for you, huh?
Oh, that man cleavage. Oh my God, dude. Yeah, I can see it.
I love this idea. Now, first of all, I love a good gender neutral like clothing. I love in the future that he would be able to like, that they would do this and just throw it out there, and it's still masculine. Like, listen, the guy. I love that. Like through and through, you know? And then as far as the bit goes, the fact that like, he's like, well, I'll put a shirt on, but it has to still be like,
but only if you can still see my chest.
Only if you can still see, you know, I got to show it off, man. Yeah, and so, yeah, you know, we're all winning, right? So
when Torin wins, we all win.
I will say though, my biggest crush of the episode is definitely Demerzel.
Yeah.
Dommy Mommy Demerzel. In some fucking way. I think she's just great. Yeah, no, we really get a lot more of her this episode. She is both scary and compelling in multiple different ways. She's walking a tightrope of an acting exercise. It's hard to do robots, I think, as an actress too, you know? And I think obviously, Laura Byrne's killing it. And I would, and I'm also, and again, I have a huge crush on her. So, you know, that's how we do it. That's how we do this segment, you know? Yeah. Who do we come out with the biggest crush on? We'll figure it out. We'll figure out how to do these accolades later on, but yeah, that's the new segment. Did you like that?
I love it. Yeah. Here for it. Hope we keep doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, looking forward to the next episode. This wasn't as heady, I feel like, as most of our episodes. We still got some good conversations in there, but wasn't as heady as most of our episodes. Next week seems like it's going to be a lot of action, and I hope we bring Spacers back pretty soon, because that can be some fun. Sounds like a fun time, dude. I don't know. And we gotta bring in some time folding, man. There's I mean, if it literally is just whisper ships and that's the extent of it, I was like, that's just boring though. I want to see them do some time stuff.
You want to get heady.
I want them to be like jumping through space and time, even if it's like small increments, you know, like they show up at one place and then show up also at the same place or same time at a different place, and then doing this, I don't know, tenant pincer movement of some fashion. Like that is the one way to me to like that you could utilize them. If that really is, that could be like a fun thing to kind of screw up the mule. Yeah. And it would be a cool way to, I don't know. I'm like getting too speculative and too much, because they probably won't go that direction. And I'm just getting hope for something that's probably not going to happen. So anyway, what do you guys want to see? Is there anything that we missed this episode? Any questions, any thoughts, whatever? Feel free to email us. Feel free to comment. Go to TikTok, go to Spotify, go to YouTube. That's how we read all the comments. We try and bring them up. You can email us, do whatever. We're trying to engage there as well. I don't always bring it up on the podcast, but I will try and engage with you on the things. If not, I love just seeing the discussions that are happening. What do you think of this theory of the mule? And please, again, no spoilers in the fucking comments. If you know what's going to happen, don't spoil it for the rest of us. If you're speculating and you're just not sure, what do you think? What do you think? Are there robots existing in Mycogen? Are they robots or are they androids? What are they? What's going on there? Because I'm so confused. Please let us know. I'm sure we'll find out more next week when we come back. And until then, thank you, Morgan. Yeah. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you next week. Thank you for listening to Codependent Content. For updates, you can follow us on social media. And if you ever want to see a video version of this podcast, feel free to check us out on YouTube or Spotify. If you have any questions or simply want to tell us about something we missed, you can email us at codependentcontent@gmail.com, or just leave a comment on TikTok and we'll get back to you. Links to all our accounts, where to contact us, or other ways to support will be in the description or show notes. We're glad you're here and working through your traumas with us. Remember, when you're lost in the darkness, search for the light. Live long and prosper, and may the force be with you. Until the next session, Cowabunga, dudes.